Hello everyone. I want to talk to you about my experience working with DoorDash, and I being a delivery driver, not with just DoorDash, but in general. I would say over 15 years-ish, on and off, but longer than that, but at least 15 years with DoorDash, about 3 since 2021 or 2, I think it was, around there, 3 or 4. And I notice a lot of times, like DoorDash, I feel like they say you're an independent contractor, which to me is not true, okay? Because isn't self-employee, that's how I look at it. Self-employee, like, hey, let's look at the things. You have no control of the app. You have no control of what orders you accept for your they say you do, but technically I feel you don't, because if you don't accept their $2 order with no tip, then they penalize you with your acceptance rating, which to me this should not be. Or if you have a $6 order going 30 miles or like 30 minutes, either or. To me, if you decline that, of course you have the ability to decline, but then your acceptance ratings go down, down, down. And then you have to deal with also with the customer ratings, and it's like chasing a rat chase, like you're chasing a little carrot, I feel, in a sense, with DoorDash. And there's no real rewards in a sense with DoorDash. They say there is, but to me there isn't, because if I'm sitting there getting penalized for stuff, where are my rewards? Now, I've been with, like I said, 3 years, and several times I've been deactivated. Just yesterday I got deactivated, and I'll explain that more. But I got deactivated before because of driver's license, because they kept running my other state's license when I had updated it the year prior, in a sense. As in self-employee, no matter if it's DoorDash, Uber Eats, unless you're driving people, that's different. Like all these gig apps, you should not have to worry about your driver's license or driver's insurance or your criminal background. To me, that's an employee of the company, and they're taking advantage of you. Because as an employee, they have to do that. You have to go through criminal background, you have to do a drug screening, and anything else in order to get the job. That's the same with these gigs. But they want to label you as independent contractors. No, that's just their way of scooting around the things so they don't have to pay you, which to me is BS. So yesterday I had an order for a customer, and the customer had ordered like $70 in sushi stuff, and I delivered it, and it's like a $5 tip. And I just text the customer. Normally I say good day, or hope you're having a wonderful day, on my way, or I always communicate with the customer basically like what's going on in that. Sometimes I make jokes like for example, hope you're having a wonderful day, on my way, and the customer says okay, for example. Now I say, making a joke out of it, I said, well, you must not that, oh my god, I can't even talk now. You must not be that hungry just for saying okay. It's just like you're not really hungry, in a sense, like you're not really interested in your food. Something along that line, just so I can, make the customer laugh, in a sense. And of course, what I messaged to that customer that time, the customer laughed about it. It's, and they're happy. Now with this customer, I had delivered, and I saw it was a $5 tip on a $70 order. And I said, appreciate if you tip 15 to 20%. I always say that if basically if I'm delivering it to your home, and then it's 15-20%, or your workplace. And to like apartment buildings, just say, depends if you want to leave me in the lobby and you want to tip more than 15%, great. Otherwise, I feel it's like 10 to 15%. If you want to bring it up, then I say it's like 20%. But the customer replied back, oh, I'm more than double the DoorDash suggested tip. I'm just like, you doubled the DoorDash suggested tip? I'm just like, how much was the subtotal? Knowing how much it is. And then I just gave him an example. Well, if it's $70, then 20% is $14. And I said, you tip $5, that means the order was $25. Using their own suggested thing. And the customer replied back, DoorDash suggested $2. Either the customer is lying or DoorDash is taking advantage of us. Because why would DoorDash suggest $2 on a $70 order? That does not make sense. Unless DoorDash doesn't really care about his drivers, which to me, that's how I feel it is. But that's what the customer had said. DoorDash suggested $2. And I just laughed. I'm like, stop playing. Like, come on now. I know that DoorDash wouldn't suggest that. If they did, and he said, this is highly inappropriate and you should take this up with DoorDash. And I know damn well, from my experience before, calling DoorDash, they will say, talk to the customer. Because it's up to the customer. And so I said, I'm taking it up with you, basically with your inappropriate tipping. And I'm sorry you had your heart up. Have a great weekend. And I just said, like, if you can't tip accordingly, then go get the food yourself next time. And in a sense, of course, I replied stingy, which now, I kind of regret saying that, but it's like a suggestion. If you don't want to tip accordingly, then you can always get the food yourself. And I'm just like, how you ordering $70 of food and tipping less than 10% and saying DoorDash suggested it? To me, somebody's lying. Either the DoorDash or the customer. And I'm just like, and I worded this wrong. I said, hopefully you get a bad dasher next time and don't get your food. Meaning, I meant like in a sense, like, because I know there's bad dashers who basically take the food and not deliver it. And it sucks for everyone. It sucks for DoorDash, it sucks for the merchant, it sucks for me or the dasher, and it sucks for the customer. Because, it's if you know, it's a freaking process. Because then they have to cancel the food, cancel the order for the next dasher if the merchant is not willing to remake it. 9 times out of 10, they're not willing to remake it because DoorDash is not going to reimburse them. Because I have many merchants say, oh, we're not going to reimburse you for that. And I talked with merchants many times, and that's another issue too, that merchants always say, can you please confirm the order? And like I had a problem with McDonald's one time, this a week ago, like they would not give me the order until I confirmed the order. And I said I already confirmed the order. They did not give it to me one bit. So then I had to call DoorDash up, explaining the situation to DoorDash. DoorDash called them, then came back to me, and I already told the person on the phone that I already told them that. I told the customer service rep from DoorDash that I said I already confirmed it, they need to give it to me. Now, as a dasher, we all know the merchant is always supposed to hand you the order. Then you can confirm it. But I confirmed it, they didn't hand me the order, and basically kept the order for more than 15 minutes. And to me, that's not right, because basically you're affecting mainly the customer. Of course, you're affecting the dasher, because wasting everybody's time. And so it's this like getting back. It's like that does not make you that doesn't make you an independent contractor. It makes you employee for another company. Like, if I have to accept an order from McDonald's, that makes me an employee in McDonald's or DoorDash. And that's the thing I was getting at when I said, next time you get a bad dasher, because these dashers will take the food, and basically that's what creates a problem of these merchants wanting us to confirm the order. Even if we confirm the order, which a lot of merchants don't understand, that as a dasher, we can confirm it and mark it delivered. We can easily mark it delivered after we confirm the order. And DoorDash will never know, in a sense, because we can just take a photo and say, hey, we delivered it. Or we can unassign ourselves and whatever excuse like that. I don't know, but I'm just saying. Because I never did that myself. If I did ever have a problem, like I was involved in an accident, I called up the customer and I said, hey, I'm sorry I'm involved in an accident, and that just letting you know, and that, and then I called up DoorDash. So I was always proactive, in a sense, letting the customer know and DoorDash to know, and that. And going back to my scenario where I had that problem where I got deactivated, I basically, just like, hey, for customers, you're not only tipping to make sure you get your food, you're also tipping for attitude. Because basically, if you tip, like, let's say, $50 order or $70 order, and you tip $5 or $3, something like that, basically, hey, you're telling the dasher or the delivery driver, you don't care about your food, you don't care about how the service provided, you don't care any of that. You just want you to get your food and as cheap as possible. That's what you're telling the delivery driver. Some of you might not agree with me, but if you know delivery work and in terms of delivering food, that's how it is. And the thing is too, there's many factors that go into tipping. Weather, even events, because we have to takes longer if we go to the store, or rush hour, more traffic during those times, and then how the dasher or the delivery driver acts, in a sense, friendly, letting the customer know what's going on, which I always do. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time, and a lot of times I am friendly with the customers because I want to provide them the best service, best customer service they get, in a sense. Of course, there's ones that take advantage of us, which I don't agree with and I don't like. And DoorDash basically, it's like, I feel like DoorDash creates his own problems in this sense because they value the customer more over the dasher, is what it's telling me. Like, I went back from the beginning, in a sense, with the acceptance rating, the customer rating, and all these different things that, like I said, chasing the cheese to get to the bread, whatever an analogy, that as dashers we had to work for, whereas gold, silver, platinum, of course I'm being platinum. I've been top dasher since almost, I want to say day one, but it took me about a couple weeks to become a top dasher at that time in order to get good things. And that's the other thing too, even as a top dasher doing DoorDash for several years, they don't prioritize us. Like, if I've been doing DoorDash 3 years and somebody just started, they're gonna give the person who started a lot of times good orders and give us who's been working with DoorDash sometimes crappy orders. And it shouldn't be that way. As a top dasher and priority, I feel that we should get the better orders first. That's when you get the tier levels. That's how it should work. But DoorDash, I feel like, does not care, because DoorDash takes a percentage. Let's be real. They take a percentage from each restaurant. They take a percentage from each delivery. So if I have 3 deliveries and each delivery pays $2 each for delivery fee, but I only get 1 delivery fee, and that they keep the other $4. So if I'm supposed to get 6, I only get 2 and DoorDash gets 4, which ain't right. I should get all the delivery fees. And then they say, DoorDash says, oh, it's 100%, we keep the tips, which is not true again. I have evidence, screenshots over and over again where DoorDash has taken pennies. Many times, pennies. People say, oh, what's pennies? If you have 1 million orders, just say in a day, and you take a penny from each one, how much is that? Like $10,000? You know, that's how they make these billions. They don't, I feel like DoorDash treats their dashers not that good. They need to treat us better, because I called DoorDash many times and complained about these orders I was getting. Like, I get 3 shop orders. Like, I had to go to grocery stores, shop for them, and basically spend over an hour and a half to shop for them, and then deliver them all for like $25. Before, in the past, that it was just one order for $20 or $30 to shop. So yeah, like, back to where I got deactivated, and I filed appeal, they denied it. So now I have to wait maybe 3 months, who knows, before I even get back to DoorDashing. And they're just taking one of the better dashers off and having these not as good dashers. So whether or not what I said to that customer was I created an unsafe environment or not, to me, I didn't think I created an unsafe environment, because I was not threatening at all. I just stating all facts. Like, to me, okay, maybe I could have worded it better. Yeah, sure. That if you get a bad dasher next time, keep your food. That's our facts. Because dashers, or unfortunately, there's dashers who keep food and somehow keep dashing. And if you didn't tip for me for being nice, that's just a fact. If you didn't tip at all, you can't complain about my service. I mean, you can, but you didn't pay for that service at all. Or if you tip very little, you can complain. And if DoorDash runs it up, well, then that's DoorDash itself, because DoorDash created an environment of that. Because as dashers, we work for those tips. We work to make that money, in a sense, because we have a lot of expenses we got to do with wear and tear in the car, etc., yada yada yada, to make sure these customers get their food. And then customers turn around and say, if they get frustrated or unhappy with you, they're like, they told me several times, if you don't how did they word it, They said basically delivery work is a fake job. Or get a real job. And it's just like, what do you do? What? How is this not a real job? Delivery's been around since the 90s. Okay? And this is how some people make their income, their life. So, telling me to get a real job, well, this fake job got your food delivered. And yet, DoorDash does not do anything with them. Or maybe they get a little warning, but they can still order food. As for us, like this, warning deactivation. Try to go to an actual job. I know a majority of people worked at actual jobs, and if they had a problem with you, the company you worked for had a problem with you, they sit down with you, talk with you, and basically, hey, what's going on here, this and that, and they work it out so next time in the future, like, you don't make the same mistake. And if you do make the same mistake, they make steps for it. DoorDash is like that. To me, that's bullshit. DoorDash, you need to step up your game. You need to, like, have more than just, like, a couple years, and well, not a couple years, in a year, have a couple of warnings, then, like, a warning of deactivation, then deactivation, like that. Not warning, then 5 minutes later, deactivation. No. Because that's unfair for the dasher. And then for us, we have to sit there and go through a process that could take days, weeks, which we're not making money. So yeah, DoorDash, you're creating your own problems, unfortunately. And I try to do my best to help you guys, to help us. But it's like, I feel like you guys are not caring or not listening, which is fine. But as a dasher, we are out here all the time. We know what goes on and the stuff we deal with and what we see and what we had to put up with. You guys don't for DoorDash. So yeah, how many other people in here have had similar experiences? I like for you, like for people to share if they feel like it. Otherwise, catch you in the next one. Peace out, and we'll see what happens.